Hi, I'm Lorraine from Velocity Merchant Services. This tutorial will explain how to perform all the basic functions on your Nurit 8400, 2085, 3020, or 8320 terminal, including how to swipe credit and debit card transactions, void a transaction, process a check electronically, enter a tip amount, and batch your terminal. I'll be using the Nurit 8400 for this walkthrough, but the steps are the same regardless of which Nurit terminal you're using. Let's get started. Before we begin, make sure you've connected your terminal to a data source, such as a phone line or a router, and that it is powered on. Check out our Getting Started video, linked below, if you need help. Once you're sure the terminal is ready, you're going to use one of your own credit cards to run a test transaction. First, we'll swipe a regular credit card. Swipe the card with a magnetic stripe facing down and to the left. Press the menu button since the card is credit. Enter the last 4 digits of the credit card account number. Press Enter. When the screen prompts Credit Sale Amount, key in the amount of the transaction. The decimal point is inserted for you, so for example, $50 would be 5000. Then press Enter. The first receipt will print. Tear off this copy for your customer to sign and return to you. Keep this receipt for your records. Press any key and the customer copy receipt will print. Now, let's review how to process a debit card. Again, start by swiping the card with its magnetic stripe facing down and to the left. Since the card is debit, press the Enter button. When the screen prompts Debit Sale Amount, key in the amount of the transaction. The decimal point is inserted for you. Then press Enter. If the customer would like to receive cash back from the register, they will need to enter the dollar amount and then press Enter. If the customer doesn't want cash back, just have them press Enter to bypass the screen. Have your customer key in their personal identification number, then press Enter. The first receipt will print. There's no need to sign since this was a PIN-based debit transaction. Keep this receipt for your records. Press any key to print the customer's copy of the receipt. Now, let's say you made a mistake when entering in the transaction dollar amount, like entering too many zeros. You can go back and void a previous transaction and then rerun the transaction at the corrected amount. Keep in mind that you cannot void a transaction run as debit or EBT. Only cards run as credit can be voided. From the home screen, press the down arrow key until the terminal displays Credit Void Sale Account. Swipe the card attached to the transaction you're trying to void. When prompted, enter the last 4 digits of the credit card number. Press Enter. Enter the amount of the void. Press Enter. 2 receipts will print. The first is the merchant copy that requires the customer's signature. The second copy is for the customer. If you're a restaurant or salon, or any other type of business that needs to accept tips as a form of payment, here's how to add a tip to a specific transaction. Press the blue function key and the gray review keys at the same time to pull up the tip menu. Press 1 to add tips. Your terminal will ask you how you want to pull up the transaction. Press 5 for transaction number. Locate the transaction number on the original receipt. Press Enter. The transaction details will display. Press Enter to confirm. Key in tip amount. Press Enter. Grand total will appear for a few seconds, then you will be returned to the main tip screen. Finally, let's talk about batching. Batching your terminal is the process that takes your day's transactions and electronically sends them off to your bank. It's good practice to batch your terminal every single day, as older batches become stale and affect your rates. If you're a retail store, your terminal is set up to auto-batch, which means it automatically does this every night at 3 a.m. and you don't need to follow along with the rest of this tutorial. If you're a restaurant or salon, your terminal is set up to be manually batched. Remember to batch your terminal at the end of each business day unless no transactions were processed. Follow these instructions to ensure your funds are expediently deposited into your bank account. Press the blue function key. If using a Nurit 2085, press the gray batch key instead. Press the option number 2 for batch. Before proceeding, make sure you add all tips to any transactions you may have. Press the Enter button twice. You now know all the basic functions necessary to operate your Nurit terminal. We hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you have any further questions about how to use your terminal or questions about processing credit card payments in general, please call Velocity Merchant Services at 888-902-6227 or visit us online at getvelocity.com. vms.com.